Hi everyone, this is Letitia Andrade with Healthy Planet Group, and I wanted to jump on today and share with you guys 3 steps to create habits and how to stay consistent with them to reach your goals. We all know that there's many habits that we have that are just not really working for us and actually progressing us into the way in which we see our life, right? I mean, we imagine our ideal life and we know that we need to do things every day to work towards the progress of getting there. But sometimes, right, we're just not feeling it and we're just not going forward with the actionable steps in order to actually make progress and continuously reach our goals and even strive for newer goals, right? And up level our life. I completely know how that feels, and I want to help support you so that you can have an easier time creating habits and also sticking with them. So if you're just jumping on right now, please comment below and let me know where you're tuning in from. I love to say hi. And what I do on this page is really share valuable tips with you guys to help improve your mental, emotional, and physical health so that you can up level your life and create the ideal life that will give you everything that you are really striving for, right? And so let's start with step number 1, right, of how to actually go about creating habits and staying consistent with them. So really, the first thing you want to do, right, is you want to cast a vision for your ideal life. And sometimes that can be really hard because, we know where we're at right now in our life, right? And we can imagine what our life might look like. But I want you to really get detailed about how your day, right, looks in that ideal life. Okay, what are your finances like? What is your career kind of work balance life? What is your health like? How about your mental well-being, right? What do you really want from your family and friend relationships? How do you want that to feel? How much fun do you want to be having? Do you want to be traveling, right? And so thinking of all these ideal, ways in which we're really thriving in our ideal life, I really want us to consider the steps that we can take now to get there, right? So we can actually just start living our ideal life now, which is really going to bring about the small incremental change to get there quicker. Okay, so really cast a vision for yourself and consider what the different areas of your life, right, that I just described really will look like. And how far do you need to go from where you're at now to get there? Okay, and so really, I want you to write down, okay, this is step number 2, the habits that support this life. Okay, and I'll give you some examples here. Okay, and what step number 3 is actually tracking the progress. So step number 2 and number 3 are really incorporated here. So I'm going to share with you a few of the habits that I've created that really help support my mental, emotional, social, physical health, right? And the things that I want to track in order to have those habits, right, in place so that I'm actually making progress and working towards that. So everyone will look different, right? But I want you to consider what you really want and the habits that you need to have in place now. So my first is power coffee, okay? And so that really means I know I want to incorporate healthy fats, okay? Maybe that's the same for you. Maybe a priority is incorporating healthy fats, especially as winter season kind of comes along, to support your mental health with healthy fats, your physical body, right, by providing more hydration from the inside out. Okay, that might be something you want to do. So I pour my coconut oil in my coffee and kind of do a bulletproof coffee kind of situation. And that's something that I know kind of supercharges my morning, right, to give me a good start on the day. So That is my first one, right? And I'll go through some of these, but this is how I laid these out, okay? And so step number 2, right, is writing down the habits that support your life. And step number 3 is actually tracking your progress. So how I laid this out is we put the month here, and you put the daily habits that you're going to track, and then also the weekly habits, and also the monthly habits that you want to track. And so the daily ones, right, I started filling out for October if I'm doing them. And so here's a few other examples that maybe would work for you too in thinking of habits that can support your mental, emotional, and physical health. Okay, the ones in green are actually related to physical health. Okay, and as we know, it's all connected, right? When we feel physically better in our bodies, we mentally and emotionally, are supported, and everything in our life just is better. So for mine, that is my power coffee habit. Okay, I'm getting real vulnerable, letting you in on my little secrets and my healthy habits that I try to do every day. Another one is psyllium husk, which is really good for digestion, and I just know it's something that I need to incorporate. And I just don't find the time to do that often, so I put it on there. Another one is green smoothies, right? Have you considered having a really power-packed meal in your day that no matter what else happens in your day with, maybe some unnecessary sugar in there or some carbs, or like last night we had In-N-Out for dinner. No matter what, I already had a green smoothie today, so I kind of feel like I'm winning, right? But maybe a smoothie is something that would power pack your day, right? And have the fiber, fat, nutrition in there, and protein in there to supercharge your physical health, which would also benefit your mental and emotional health. Okay, another one I have on here is apple cider vinegar, kind of a habit at evening. I used to do this back in the day to curb sugar cravings. Apple cider vinegar is super great for kind of rebalancing the pH in your body because it's super alkaline, and a lot of our bodies are very acidic these days with our food supply and the things that we incorporate in our life. So apple cider vinegar is a good little healthy habit. And then meal prep is in here for something I want to do weekly. Okay, and so let's think about maybe what mental, emotional, social habits might help you, right, improve your health overall. And so these are more mindset habits. Okay, I want to do a future self journal that kind of helps me, right, write down what I'm really striving for and how I'm getting there. Right? It kind of supports the whole healthy habit tracker. And affirmations, meditation. I kind of go from my future self journal straight into deep breathing and a bit of meditation to kind of really subconsciously really connect what I want with how I feel, and just to kind of pause for a minute and just kind of really stay on those ideas and those affirmations of what I'm trying to focus on, because we know that whatever we focus on, right, really comes into our reality. So I always remind my kids of, don't, focus on your worries, right? That's like wishing for bad things to happen. Focus on the things that you want to have happen, right? So keep your mindset what you want to have happen, and that will basically start creating a reality of those things actually happening. Another mindset, social kind of thing is I have dog walking on here because our dog is crazy. I don't know if any of you guys can relate. And so our dog actually needs to be walked twice a day, almost like running. The dog is running and we are bike riding. Okay, I have on here gratitude at the end of the day, because I want to start kind of a journal of just simply 3 things I'm grateful for at the end of the day, because a lot of people believe that what we focus on right before we go to bed is actually what we will in a way be dreaming of, and our subconscious will really be focusing on while we sleep. And therefore you're really kind of getting a step ahead for the next day by focusing on the things that are positive, that you're really grateful for, because there's also a saying that when we're thankful and grateful for things, they multiply, right? Other things are weekly habits. Maybe you have a weekly exercise habit of getting out with a friend, doing some bike riding, doing some exercise together, some hiking, whatever it is. Maybe that's a weekly goal you have. Other weekly goals I have related to mindset and kind of mental health are gratitude. So I like to practice gratitude with my kids. And how I do that is I have them recall a good experience that they had in this last week, maybe a memory, a positive experience with something in their life, and they write it down, right? And then they can, therefore, in the future, when they are not feeling so great, they can recall those really great experiences. Oh, hey, Jess, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. They can recall those really great memories, because sometimes when we're down in the dumps and we're just really not feeling well, right, we can have a journal, right, that's all about things that happened to us that were really positive and really good. It reminds us that we might have a bad moment or a bad day, but we don't have a bad life. Right? Another thing is I like to do old-fashioned thank you notes with the kids whenever someone does something nice for them. I try to remember to actually write an old-fashioned note and send it in the mail, because I think that's really kind of something that everyone really appreciates still to this day. Let's see. For me, I have to remember friend time. Isn't that so sad? Tell me in the comments if you too have to actually write down, right, that you need to remember the habit of having friend time. I put this on there weekly, which is a bump up from monthly. And don't get me wrong, I have friends all around me. I talk to them daily, on the phone, over, the internet, working with the kind of project that I do. Aw, thanks, Jess. You're so sweet. And so friend time is something that I didn't realize was so important until probably the last few years of having really good quality friendships that you see consistently. Because just to say that people are in your friend group and that you have good friends, are you actually committing to seeing them, right? And here's another step, right? That's a really good habit. Are you doing things that move you guys closer to your mental, emotional, physical goals together? So for example, I have a few different friends that I do physical activity with. That might be a hiking trip, every couple months. It might be walking. I love to walk up Signal Hill where we're at, because I love, incline walking. So we do that together, and we chat it out, and we chat about our life, and it just feels so good to move and also have friend time together. So that might be a healthy habit that would work for you, as far as kind of getting a twofer deal of having that social, emotional connection with a good friend, right, that supports your growth and really supports you wholeheartedly, right? Because I think sometimes we can have people that don't support us wholeheartedly and want to see us, have great success. And so it's really important to just really focus on good quality friendships. And if you can move together, that's awesome, because motion creates emotion. Oh, Jess has a friend that she's going to call for her birthday. Good for you, Jess. Phone calls are awesome. We can hear our heart, right? I need to get better at phone calls. And then I have monthly on here self-care strategies and also personal development. I think one of the absolute best things that we can do for ourselves is continuously up level and skill up and grow into our discomfort zones, so that we can really model that as well for the people around us, and especially our children, right? To remind them that even as adults, we continuously try to progress and do things that we know are going to improve all areas of our life. So the blue ones are the mindset, mental kind of health related. And then I have on here orange ones that are business related, because I don't know if you can identify with this, but sometimes when you're a stay-at-home mom or also a work-from-home mom, your kids, right, especially kids these days, think that you're available all the time for them and that your world is literally all encompassing of them and what they need. But it's super important to have some good boundaries there with your kids and say some of your time, right, is focused on you fulfilling your own purpose that's unique to yourself and really staying consistent with your professional goals, even if you work from home, whether it be whatever profession you're in. So those are some different ways in which I really try to support, right, all the different areas of my health. And, I got to tell you, there's things that just aren't on here, right? There's things like, thinking of how I support my kids, right? I drive 3 hours a day doing drop off and pick up because they're at 3 different schools because of their ages, right? Elementary, middle school, and high school. And that is a lot, right, of driving. I didn't put it on here, right? But it's part of what I do. There's also different things I do, household chores, etc., etc. There's different things that are on here. But this is kind of like a guidepost because we need to remember a roadmap of how we're going to get, right, to our ideal life and kind of really be there. And what goals we have, we really need to stay consistent, right, in how we're going to show up and get there step by step, every day. So, of course, I don't get to all of these, but part of this whole process is really evaluating, maybe it's daily, right? Like what else should I do today to kind of support my health in all those different areas? Maybe it's weekly of thinking, you know what, how did things go for me today? Did I remember to really support myself and fill up my own cup so I can be there for other people, right? Maybe it's a monthly check-in of really kind of saying, I am so proud of myself for staying consistent, right, and congruent with these different things that are going to help me progress in my life. And you know what? It's also a check-in of how could I be better in certain areas, right? And so this really is a roadmap to kind of remember the path in which you need to, venture in order to get where you want to go. But it's absolutely not something that you need to stress about because that's not really the idea of it. It's just kind of a check-in that really could help you, I think, in your own life, really stay on the course. So if you have habits that you are working on right now, I would love to know and I would love to support you in those habits of staying consistent with them. If there's one that's challenging down below, let me know. Let me know what that challenging one is. One of my favorite books is this book. It's The Power of Habit. And he really talks about in this book how you really have to attach, there's a cue, right? And then there's a routine and there's a reward. And so sometimes by giving yourself a bit of a reward, right, for really staying consistent with a healthy habit can do wonders. So I might talk more about this book and kind of creating habits and how to kind of rework maybe bad habits, right, along with the kind of practices in this book on a different Facebook Live. Let me know if that's something you're interested in that I should do. I always want to show up to support you guys because I really think we all can up-level our life in so many different ways. And this is just one of the ways I'm staying consistent with goals that support my mental, emotional, and physical health. And I hope that you too are doing this for yourself because you deserve it. So thank you so much for tuning in and have a wonderful day, guys.